Good afternoon, everybody. Well, I've been given the task, like to have to do it quickly, but it's been almost a lifetime of work. It's been 20 years that I've been working on a thought, which I call innovation by observation. And for me, observation is a superpower. And how does it actually help me? It has helped me create more than 1,000 products, innovative products, for my clients across 20 countries, and been awarded with more than 40 plus design awards, both international and in the nation. I'll start with a very simple observation, which I'm sure everyone has experienced. We dry our clothes out in the sun, and we use these cloth pegs, right? So I'll take a step back, probably, and tell you about an interesting phenomena, which is called habituation. Habituation is something which actually stops us from thinking that there is a problem while there it is. So what did I observe here? An interesting thing. There's a metal clip attached to the plastic or the wooden peg. What it does, it leaves rust marks on your clothes. And also, these products tend to break very often because they're exposed in the sun. These two things I wanted to do away with. So what did I do? I simply did away with it. And I created a structure which was a dual jaw without the spring, yet having the spring action by just the property of the material. This is the prototype actually, and my wife was modeling for me at that time, this way back in 2005. And this won me my second Red Dot award. And the mention about this was that this talked about sustainability. Now you must be wondering, this is a product made out of plastic, and how is it sustainable? Well, because it has actually, the design has improved on the longevity of the product. Because if one of the clip breaks, the other jaw is still active. So the design, by design, you can improve on the longevity of a product. So that was the thought behind this. Seeing the invisible, like we all can solve problems which we can see, but how do you solve a problem which no one sees? I'll share a simple example. We've all used these kind of plugs and 2 pins to use, and what was the nagging problem which I had observed was very simple. The 2-pin plug would tend to fall off, and it happened due to gravity. A very simple idea. Can I add an angle of 40 degrees so that it becomes a gravity lock instead? So the problem was gravity, and the solution was also provided by gravity. From idea to prototype to market, this has gone on to become #1 rank on Amazon for the past 2 decades. Solutions lie with the problem, and I call this contextual innovation. And every problem is an opportunity in disguise. A very interesting brief, which I got to work on from the marketing team of Whirlpool, was that they wanted me to actually work on a project where increase the height of the refrigerator without increasing the cooling capacity. Now, how do you increase the height of a refrigerator without actually increasing the cooling capacity? So I went around and visited many homes and figured out that people were actually using these kind of stands from the market to raise the height of the refrigerators. And these were costing around 600 odd rupees back then. Another interesting observation what I did was there were also these baskets of onions and potatoes, which were also costing around 200 to 300 rupees, and they were also taking up space in your kitchen. So I was struck with an idea. Can I combine both the utilities? And that's how I came up with this idea of the utility drawer. That's the first prototype, and that's me back in 2004 with the engineers at Whirlpool factory. We did some user testing, and finally this was launched by Whirlpool as a utility drawer. Probably many of you would have seen or experienced this product. So now it seamlessly looks very gelled with the product, and it has done its purpose all by design. And so much so that it was easily adapted by most of the other brands in the country. Thank you. Solutions are closer than you think, sometimes hidden in plain sight. Another interesting brief from the marketing team of LG Electronics. Design a LCD which is India specific. Now we all know a television is a global product. Now how do you make it look Indian? Do I add a vermilion strip to it? Do I add some paisley patterns onto it? Or how do I make it Indian? Well, I again believe in observation, and I went back and I start observing how people are buying the products. This was done in 2012. Flat TVs were pretty new on the wall, so Diwar pe jaane wala television. This was a thing of pride at that point in time. So what happened was that people were making these products go up on the wall, but what happened to the stand of the television? It was of no use. In fact, when asked that why are you keeping it this way, they said, we found it no use and we've just thrown it away. But then what we realized was that with the CRT television, in the image in the middle, you'll see there's a furniture piece where you could keep your DTH box. Now, with the televisions going on the wall, now where do you keep your DTH box? So people are doing these kind of jugaads, like glass shelves and all, to keep your other electronic devices. So then I was struck with another idea. Can I convert the stand into a shelf itself? It took me around 6 months to figure out the joinery mechanism because I couldn't increase the cost of the product. And finally, that's me with the mock-up makers in Seoul. And this was the final product where you could actually have it on the wall as well as on the furniture piece without an extra bit of additional cost to the product. Genuine needs are often felt, but seldom spelt. And I think we should see them with empathy. I think this word has come up a lot of times today during the day, and I strongly believe in that. So I always like to look for the root cause and not only the symptoms. We all have experienced this, right? We're trying to take out ice for our drink. We try to struggle, twist and turn the tray. We took a step back and we asked the question that what actually is the problem? The problem is, it is a cube, again. So what happens is that when water freezes, it expands, and that's why it gets stuck on all the sides. And people have gone to great extents to overcomplicate it, to make mechanisms just to take out the ice. And I strongly believe in voluntary simplicity. I changed the ice itself. I made it hemispherical from the bottom, and what had happened was that when the ice now freezes, this is simple physics, it pops up about an mm or a 2, and it stands hold, very loose. So you can just scoop it up with your spoon. So at the end of the day, not only do you have an interesting ice tray, but you also have a beautiful looking ice for your drink. Well, as I said, observation is a superpower. If we do it with empathy, with curiosity, with all your senses, with patience, and without distortion. Along the way, I had this interesting thing going on that I was observing everyday life, and I was finding humor in everyday life as well. Like, we've experienced this. I think all of us have experienced this, that going to a shopping mall, buying something, and we've got no space to sit. Can we do something about it? I treat them as triggers for imagination. Let me share an example. This is a regular scenario. When the floor is just mopped, your mom or your wife wouldn't allow you to step over it. They will say, "वो दाग पड़ जाएगा," right? So can we design a floor which does not leave footprints after mopping? What ideas can we generate out of this observation from everyday life? Anti-impression tiles. Can we design an air conditioner with a quick dry feature? Like we've got an air conditioner. Can we have a feature which could do a quick dry thing? Or can we design the floor cleaning solution that it does not allow impressions? That made me come to a conclusion that I should document these and come up with a book. And that's what I've done. I've created a series of books called the I Didn't Say It series, because none of it is imagination. Every page is of observation from everyday life. So this is how it pans out, that there's an observation and there's a trigger thought to it. For the past 1.5 years, I've been working at it, and I'm happy to share that the third volume is ready. Thank you.